Heat indexes were well into the 110s for most of North Texas today as an excessive heat warning is extended now through tomorrow. Hello, I'm Steve Eager. We're talking about dangerous conditions outside right now. People seen outside in downtown Grand Prairie taking shelter from the heat, finding shady spots. Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry. Dan?
Hey there, Steve. We've got triple-digit temperatures at all three major reporting stations right now. 100 at Love Field, 102 at DFW, and 103 at Alliance Airport. Our high so far today officially at DFW is the current temperature reading at 102. Feels even hotter with that stifling humidity. 114 right now, the current heat index in Denton. 112 Fort Worth, DFW, and Dallas. 111 Mineral Wells. And it currently feels like 112 degrees up to our north in both Bonham and Sherman. I expect similar temperatures and humidity levels tomorrow. For that reason, the excessive heat warning has been extended right through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening across the entire area. Beyond that, though, we should see a little downturn in temperatures and humidity levels. Factoring in temperatures and humidity tomorrow puts us firmly in that health hazard category tomorrow afternoon, feeling like 109 to 113. We'll have details of a little heat relief by the upcoming weekend. Those details with your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Dan, see you soon. Thank you. A week after a Dallas letter carrier died while on the job, carriers are starting their shifts about an hour earlier. The local union president told Fox 4 the change started statewide yesterday, and Fox 4's Stephen Dial is in with more. Stephen.
We still don't know if heat was the cause of Eugene Gates' death, but letter carriers I spoke to today, they said starting earlier will make it safer for them to do their jobs.
A week after Dallas letter carrier Eugene Gates Jr. collapsed during his route and later died at a hospital, Postal workers sent Fox 4 this flyer and alerts informing them their shift would be moved earlier, starting at 7:30 in the morning.
We're still in kind of limbo as to the actual cause of death, but we know it was extremely hot on the day that Eugene passed. And so carriers are really, they're a little terrified about having to work out in the elements that we're faced with here in Dallas and in the whole Metroplex.
Kimitra Lewis is the Lone Star branch president for the National Association of Letter Carriers. She told us the shift change started Monday with consecutive triple-digit days in the forecast and dangerous humidity. She also said the change is statewide, but USPS officials would not confirm that information to Fox 4.
Letter carriers are concerned about being out there when it's at the hottest point of the day. And that's their biggest concern.
On the day Gates collapsed, the heat index reached 115 degrees. Tuesday morning, at the new start time of 7:30, the air temperature alone in Dallas was already 85 degrees. At the normal 9 a.m. start time for workers, it was 93 degrees. Lewis says the goal is for letter carriers to work an 8-hour route. Moving the start time earlier would mean workers should finish before the hottest part of the day. She had this message for the Gates family.
But I want them to know and understand that Eugene did not die in vain, that Eugene will be remembered, if not for nothing else, but for the attention that our loss of him brought to the Postal Service, to the other postal employees, and to the community.
What's unclear is how long this time change will last. Will it be all summer? Will it be permanent? And will it be permanent statewide? We asked USPS multiple questions and was told they had no additional information at this time.
All right, Stephen Dial reporting live. Thank you, Stephen. Governor Greg Abbott ordered state lawmakers back to work again on property tax reform in a second special session. The House and Senate failed to reach a compromise on Abbott's top priority in the first special session. Tax relief has turned into a tense back and forth between Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Abbott wants to eliminate school district taxes in the long term, starting with cuts to maintenance and operational fees. Patrick and the Senate pushed for larger homestead exemptions and franchise tax breaks. Moments ago, Patrick doubled down on that focus and called Abbott's proposal unrealistic. However, Abbott sets the agenda for special sessions, and today he said property tax cuts will be the only priority until both the House and the Senate compromise on a plan that he supports. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected a legal theory in a case that could have transformed elections for president and for Congress. Justices ruled 6-3 today. The North Carolina State Supreme Court did not overstep its authority when it blocked Republican-drawn congressional maps. Fox's Lauren Blanchard explains this case.
The question at the heart of Moore v. Harper: can North Carolina Republican state legislators draw up their congressional districts and set their election rules without the state's courts stepping in? Tuesday, the Supreme Court said no in a 6-3 decision.
And what today's decision basically does is clarify that state courts, specifically state Supreme Courts, still have a role to play in overseeing election laws.
In 2021, North Carolina's GOP state lawmakers argued the independent state legislator theory allowed them to redraw the congressional map without any judicial oversight.
It involves not just redistricting laws, but really almost any law that somehow impacts federal elections.
That doctrine was rejected by the state Supreme Court in 2022, who said the original GOP map was, quote, a partisan outlier intentionally and carefully designed to maximize Republican advantage. Those judges then redrew the voting boundaries. Unhappy with the ruling, conservatives asked the U.S. Supreme Court justices to weigh in. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the majority decision against the GOP lawmakers, saying the Elections Clause does not insulate state legislatures from the ordinary exercise of state judicial review. The ACLU celebrating the decision, quote, in our system, there is no room for a rogue legislature that can violate its own founding charter without any checks from other branches of government. This is likely not the last we'll hear of the issue of redrawing district maps before the 2024 elections. Another similar redistricting case in Ohio is pending. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox 4 News.
And so the High Court is expected to release opinions on several other cases this week before the justices begin their summer break. This week is set to be the tentative last public court session before the recess, but that could extend into July depending on the caseload. Some of those issues include gay rights, affirmative action, and student loans being forgiven. A law enforcement strategy that started in Boston decades ago is now part of the Dallas police toolbox. It's called focused deterrence, one-on-one intervention with people most likely to commit a violent crime. Fox 4's Sean Rabb shot down with the Dallas police chief today, Eddie Garcia, to talk about this program and how it works. Sean.
Yeah, so here's what. It works if the threat of federal prison time, no parole, is enough to motivate someone to accept what Chief Eddie Garcia calls the olive branch being offered. That's resources to help you turn your life around. What it really comes down to is an individual's lifestyle choice.
Focused deterrence really is, getting a group of individuals that would otherwise be susceptible to a life of violent crime, at-risk individuals, and giving them two messages. The first message is we're not going to tolerate violence in our city. However, if they need help, they need other things to get started, we want to help them get in the right direction for them and their families.
2 weeks ago, the chief, along with community partners, met in this face-to-face intervention with more than 24 who've been in serious trouble more than once or twice. How'd you identify them, and who are they?
They're identified by chronic offenders, whether they've been involved in violent crime recently, probation, parole, gang members, and individuals that have committed multiple offenses of violent crime in the city. And identifying those specific individuals using data is how they were identified. MetroCare
is one partner. The South Dallas Employment Project, made up of over 100 organizations committed to providing jobs and life skills, is another.
They took part in a lot of the resources, and so it was a great meeting. We'll do them quarterly. And what we're going to start to do is not only individuals that are out of custody, but we're going to start taking the show into custodial facilities as well to get that message out before individuals get released back into our city.
Will this make a difference in the homicide rate, you think? I mean, we see crime going down, homicide still going.
So, when we look at the homicide rate, we've done some remarkable work here in the last month and a half, where I think we were 22 or 23 murders over when we were last year, and as of this morning, I think we're 9 over. So we've reduced homicide during most critical months, which is important. But what we've continued to reduce have been violent incidents.
The hope is focused deterrence will drive that down even more.
100 robberies, 100 aggravated assaults are not committed by 100 different people. And so if we're able to concentrate on the chronic offenders, we'll be able to reduce violent crime even further in the city of Dallas.
So the chief says that murders are not the benchmark in Dallas, but it's these violent crimes, aggravated assaults. this focused deterrence designed to drive those down. There's some excitement around the program. Folks who heard about it but were not part of that first meeting, some of them have contacted the department and their PO saying, hey, we want an opportunity to do this as well. How is it gauged, its success? Well, determined long term, whether people stay on the resource track or go back to what they were doing before. My full conversation with Eddie Garcia on our website, fox4news.com.
All right, Sean. Thank you, Sean Rebs at Dallas Police Headquarters. Thanks. The Department of Justice says 4 more people have been arrested for the deaths of 53 southern border crossers being smuggled in a sweltering hot tractor trailer 1 year ago today in San Antonio. Authorities say the 4 Mexican nationals knew the truck's air conditioning was not working. The 4 additional suspects are charged with conspiracy to transport immigrants, resulting in death, serious bodily injury, and placing lives in jeopardy. Shortly after the trailer was found abandoned, the driver and another man, also a Mexican national, were arrested and charged with smuggling, resulting in death and conspiracy. So that's 6 in all. All arrested face life in prison if they're convicted.